Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS. Today in this video, we are going to see analysis of today's GS-1 UPSC Mains paper. So we are going to see this Mains 2022 GS-1 question paper analysis in this session. So actually, before saying this, you have to know some details. So you have to know which are the subjects which comes under our GS paper 1, and you have to see so from which subjects how many questions you got, so that especially if you are going to give your next year UPSC examination or after 2 years, or if you are planning for this 2025 UPSC, so this analysis will be helpful, like where you have to focus more and you can identify some favorite areas of UPSC. And one more thing I can say that, so how we can relate our static syllabus with current affairs and how the questions will be coming from static syllabus based on our current happenings also. So those all the things that we are going to discuss in this video. So I hope you can see the UPSC paper on the screen. So this is our today's GS1 paper. So first of all, we have to see which subjects are there in our UPSC in this GS paper 1 especially. So I also came up with a detailed list of questions, that is question 1 to question 20. So in this UPSC mains you will be having 20 questions, and out of this 20 questions, so for at least 10 questions it will be like 10 marker and the remaining questions will be 15 marker. So here the demand here is you have to write answer within the word limit. So for 10 marker questions the word limit will be 150 words. Okay, you can see I think so on the screen. Okay, so here you can see this is 10 marker question and you have to write 150 words, and here the place will be given, it is sufficient for this 150 words, so don't exceed this limit of 150 words. So from the question 1 till this question 10, so it will be like 10 marker questions and the word limit is 150 words, and from the 11th question you can see it is 250 words and it is 15 marker questions. So 11th question, 12th question, 13th question, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, and these are 15 marker question. So whenever you are attempting this mains especially, so try to attempt these 15 marker questions first and later move on to this 10 marker questions, because initially you will be having high energy and you will be having high thinking power and your answer writing speed will be also very high. So try to complete this 15 marker questions first and later on you can move on to this 10 marker question. So this is the one tip from my side. So let us see the analysis here. So here we have art and culture, modern history, post-independent India, we have world history, geography and Indian society in our GS paper 1, and in this GS paper 1 it is mostly static. So based on this current happenings you will be getting some static based questions in this GS paper 1. So current affairs is also very important to answer these GS1 questions of your mains. So I will explaining you like so how current happenings that are reflected in this GS1 paper, that too from your static syllabus. So from art and culture you got 3 questions and the contribution of this art and culture in this year paper is 40 marks. So if you are prepared well with this art and culture, yes, you will be getting 40 marks. And the modern history you got just 2 questions, they are also 10 marker questions. So contribution of this modern history this year is 20. And from this post-independent India you got 1 question and it is 15 marker question. So it is regarding reorganization of states. So I want to say one thing, actually the students who joined this mains answer writing series, they will be knowing that we gave I think 2 to 3 questions from this reorganization of state itself. And especially 9th batch students, they are writing this questions regarding this post-independent India, and they will be knowing about the importance of this reorganization of states now. And even most of the questions that we gave in this art and culture, modern history, yes, they reflected in this year paper. So I highly recommend the students to take this mains answer writing practice course that we are giving in this Rathod's IAS Academy, and in every month, in the first week of every month, a new batch will be going to be started. So please enroll, and that will be very, very helpful. And from the world history, there is no question this year, so contribution is 0 marks. And from geography, you got 8 questions, so 4 questions of 10 markers and 4 questions of 15 markers. So total contribution from this geography year is 100 marks. And I want to say one thing, so many students, they will be confusing like which are the sources for this geography. I strictly recommend that you have to go through this 11th class and 12th class NCRTs. Only there are just 4 books. So if you read those books thoroughly, yes, you can write answer for these questions for sure. And I will be saying that, okay, don't worry about that. And next one is from Indian society. You got 6 questions, and most of the questions are based on your understandings of recent happenings and just some brief idea regarding the static syllabus of your society. And it contributed about 75 marks. So from all these subjects like art and culture, modern history, post-independent India, world history, geography and Indian society, so it contributes your GS paper 1 and it will gain you like 250 marks. So if you prepare well, yes, you can get easily 110 to 125 marks in this GS paper 1. Okay, so actually this year paper, it is not much difficult and it is like a easy to medium range. So now let us try to see the questions from the different subjects. So I divide these questions and I placed under this subjects, okay, so that you will be having an easy understanding of topic and even you can understand so like how you should address the answer. So in this video we are going to just see the question and I will be giving you some points. But in our future videos, we are going to come up with a detailed analysis or detailed discussion of this paper by the respective faculty, and they will be giving like how to structure your answer. So like what can you write in the introduction, body, conclusion, etc. And the detailed points they will be given in the future video. But this video, it is just analysis of today's GS-1 paper. So from art and culture, as I said, there were 3 questions which appeared. So the first question is, how will you explain medieval Indian temple structure represent the social life of those days? And the word limit is 150 words and it is a 10 marker question. So let us try to think why this question is there in this year paper. So I think you might have remember about this Gnan Vapi mosque case. So because of this, yes, this question regarding medieval Indian temple structure was in news. So here you have to write about what are the important characteristics of this medieval Indian temple sculptures. So especially they are talking about sculptures, they are not talking about architecture of this medieval Indian temples. They are focusing on the sculptures which comes under art but not architecture. So this thing that should be clear. And one more thing I can say here is, so you can write about during which period we can say that is medieval period, and you have to know about some examples of temples which are mainly came up during this medieval period. Okay, for example, Kendriya Mahadev temple. Okay, like that you can add some examples and you can talk about how the changes which are happening in the temple sculptures. For example, we came up with this Dwarapalakas, we came up with this images of goddess Yamuna and Ganga, especially seen in this Nagara temple architecture. In Dravida we have Dwarapalakas, and even there were number of erotic images that were seen on this temples, and even there were number of changes like they came up with this Parivar Devatas, and even during this Chola time, yes, there were number of changes that happened. So they even came up with the idols, they are related to their family. Okay, so these are some changes that you can write, and you can say that how they are representing the social life of those days. So this is the demand of question. And second question is, discuss main contributions of Gupta period and Chola period to Indian heritage and culture. So actually this Gupta period is known as golden period. So you have to know about the contributions happened in this art and architecture during this period. And actually in our mains answer writing practice, yes, we gave this question regarding this Gupta period. So why this Gupta period is called as golden age? So there you can write at least 6 to 7 points. And even here this Chola period is also one important, because if you are talking about especially this temple architecture, so temple architecture which mainly reached the highest stage during this Chola period, and they came up with a very tall, okay, very tall shikaras. So shikaras are called as shikaras are mainly called in this Nagara temple style of architecture. In Dravida we have gopurams, okay, and we have vimana. So vimanas and gopurams, they reached very high during this Chola period, and you can give some examples of this temple architecture, okay, and you can write about not only from the temple architecture but even so what are the developments that was seen in this Chola period. So this is the demand of question. And next one is discuss the significance of lion and bull figures in Indian mythology, art and architecture. So let us try to think about this question. So why this question is in this year paper? So actually recently our Prime Minister, he inaugurated national emblem in our parliament, right? So what happened? So there was very much controversy seen because whatever the lions are there, they are much aggressive in this national emblem. So because of this, yes, this question which is related to static syllabus, now they asked about what is significance of this lion and bull figures. So if you see in our national emblem, we have animals like lion, horse, bull and elephant. So here this question which asked about significance of lion as well as bull. So you can talk about different stupas, okay, and their architecture, and you can write about what is significance of this lion and the bull. Okay, so this is about this question. So out of these 3 questions which we saw in this art and culture, so 2 questions are related to current events. So from this current events, they connected to our static syllabus. So in this way, so we need to update with the current events, and whenever we are seeing anything which is relevant from our static syllabus, so come back to our static syllabus and try to read that topic from your standard books. So this is one important tip, and it is one of the key highlight of our analysis. And second one is from the modern history. So as I said, from modern history we have 2 questions. So first question it is, why did armies of British East India Company, mostly comprising of Indian soldiers, win consistently against the more numerous and better equipped armies of the Indian rulers? Give reasons. So this is a very expected question, because as we all know that before this revolt of 1857, so we have good amount of this police, that is Indian soldiers in this army of British East India Company. So after this revolt of 1857, the first change they did was increasing of ratio of European soldiers to Indian soldiers. So if you know this point, yes, we will be thinking about, so why they came up with this recruitment of Indian soldiers into the British East India Company. So this is the first demand of question. So you have to write what are the reasons. For example, they thought that whenever these Indians, they were taken into administration or into this police or army, yes, they will be very much loyal, and that will increase the control of Britishers over these Indians. And one more thing here is they are also cheaper than compared to that of these Europeans. So these are some basic and important reasons. And the second one is, so this British East Indian Company army which is consistently winning against this Indian rulers. So what might be the reasons? So this is second sub question. So first one here is, so whatever the technology they had, that is British East India Company had, so it is very much advanced, and even they are well trained people, and they focused on regular salary. But from the Indian rulers, so whatever the weapons they are using, they are outdated, they are not much updated compared to that of this British East India Company. And next one here is, they focused, especially they did not focus on the regular payment of salaries for these people. And one more thing here is, yes, the people who are working in the armies of Indian rulers, they were from the different occupations. They are not especially trained, they do not have proper training. So these are some important reasons. Okay, so this is about this question. And next one is, why was there a sudden spurt in the famines in colonial India since mid 18th century? Give reason. So this question is also a basic static question, and if you have gone through your spectrum or if you have gone through your Bipin Chandra, yes, there was one topic regarding this famines in India. So you can talk about Agra famine, you can talk about Great Bengal famine. So because of this Great Bengal famine, that led to the death of about 10 million Indians. So what might be the reason? Here the British, they focused on just looting out of India, but they do not came up with any rules and policies regarding this agriculture. And especially what are the agriculture we used to have. So after entry of Britishers, we came up with this commercialization of agriculture. For example, indigo cultivation. And even most of the Indian population, they used to depend upon the agriculture, but these people, they were diverted to other works. For example, plantation, they are taken to the plantations, etc. And even we focused on tea production, tea which mainly came into the India through these Britishers. So everything, so you can write these reasons, and this is a very basic questions, and you can easily write answer for this question. And one more thing here is, one thing that you can do here to enrich your answer is, you can draw the map and you can show the locations where this famines happened, and you can write year also there. And next subject, it is our post-independent India. So only one question of 15 markers came from this post-independent India, and this topic is also very important, that is reorganization of states. So the political and administrative reorganization of states and territories has been a continuous ongoing process since mid-19th century, discussed with examples. It is a very basic question, and you can talk about the Reorganization of States Act, and you can say about what are the committees that came up, and you can give some examples. Okay, and this is a very simple question, and we also gave 2 or 3 questions regarding this reorganization of states in our mains answer writing practice. And next subject is geography. So from geography, I said that reading of NCERT is very important, and if you know the concept, then you can easily write these questions. So out of this 8 questions, so 5 or 6 questions you are directly from your NCERT. So blindly follow your NCERT. So this is the second suggestion from my side. So first question is, describe the characteristics and types of primary rocks. So we are talking about rocks, we are having 3 types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. So it is talking about the primary rock. Primary rock, it is nothing but igneous rock, and you have to say the characteristics of this igneous rocks, and we are having different types of this igneous rocks. Okay, so I discussed this topic in detail in our geography series, because I am the core faculty of geography here. I discussed in detail regarding this topic, regarding this igneous rocks or primary rocks, regarding formation, types, different characteristics. So you can directly write this answer, and this answer you can write if you go through your NCERT. And next one is, discuss the meaning of color-coded weather warnings for cyclone-prone areas given by meteorological department. Yes, meteorological department. So one important function of this meteorological department is early warning. So whenever there are signs of this cyclones, yes, they will be saying that which area will be affected most, and they will be giving the alerts, right? And if you go through this newspaper every day, so you will be getting that weather forecast image of India every day, and you can see the different colors also. So this question is from current affairs, and if you are following our Hindu newspaper, and even in our Hindu analysis also, I said about this color coded weather warnings. So this is very simple, and you can write about different colors and what it means. And next question from this geography is, discuss the natural resource potentials of Deccan Trap. So you have to know where is this Deccan Trap located. Yes, here we have our Deccan Plateau. So this area will come into this Deccan Trap. And this question which demanded about what are the natural resources that we can see. So in this area, yes, we have iron deposits, core deposits, mica, etc. And you have to show the locations where these deposits are there. So that's it. It's a very simple question. It is directly from your NCERT. And this one is, examine the potential of wind energy in India. Explain the reasons for the limited spatial spread. So I think recently 4 days ago, so there was an article in your Hindu regarding this wind energy. So even this wind energy, it is highly seen in news, because we are focusing on how to reduce this carbon emissions. And recently in our COP26, that is Conference of Parties 26, our PM announced that we are going to be carbon neutral by 2070. So because of this, yes, we are focusing on this, how to decrease this carbon emissions, and we are moving towards this renewable energy sources, right? So one of these renewable energy sources is wind energy. So recently there was one article that talked about the potential of wind energy and what are the challenges that we are facing. So this is also a very direct question and you can easily write this answer. And the fifth question is, what are the forces? What are the forces influence ocean currents? So this question I directly gave in your mains answer writing practice. And the first batch students, second batch students and third batch students, they know about this question. That is, what are the forces or what are the factors that influences ocean currents? So here in introduction you can write about what are these ocean currents. So we have two types, body currents and as well as surface ocean currents. And you can talk about based on the temperature. Yes, we have hot currents and we have cold currents. So this is about introduction, and in the body you can write about simply the what are the factors. For example, Coriolis force, it is one of the important force. And next one here is describe their role in fishing industry. So one thing you have to remember here is whenever this warm ocean currents and whenever this cold ocean currents you are meeting, so they become the best fishing zones, because there will be the upwelling of water and we can see they are very much rich in the nutrients. So whenever these hot and the cold ocean currents are meeting, so that is also one favorable condition for the growing of plankton. So for this plankton, so most of the amount of the fishes, they will come there for their food, so they will become the best fishing grounds. So here you can draw the world map and you can show some hot currents and cold currents, and wherever they are meeting, so you can show them as a best fishing grounds. Okay, so let me know some best fishing grounds where this hot currents and cold currents which meets. And even in our geography course, I discussed each and every detail regarding this ocean currents. And this one is describing distribution of rubber producing countries, indicate the major environmental issues faced by them. So why this question is there in this year paper? So recently 2 days back there was one article regarding this rubber. So actually China stopped taking this rubber which is produced in India. So because of this, the price of this rubber which had been fall down. So because of this, yes, the question here is about distribution of rubber producing countries. You have to draw the map of world and you have to show which are the countries which are producing this rubber, and you have to know about what are the favorable conditions for the growing of rubber and what are the major environmental issues which are faced by the farmers of this rubber. So this is the demand of question. And next one is mention the significance of straits, isthmus in international trade. So actually this question is also regarding this current affairs or current happenings. So here first of all you have to know what is a strait. So number of times I said that. So two water bodies are connected by a narrow water channel, that is called as a strait. So you have to give the examples of the strait. For example, Strait of Gibraltar, Malacca Strait, Strait of Davos, Bab el Mandab. So these are some important straits, and these straits and isthmus, they are very important because so most of the trade which happens to this strait. And you can see what is the importance of Strait of Malacca. You can see about Strait of Gibraltar. So what is the importance? Strait of Hormuz, right? So this is also very direct question, and if you are following these current events and if you have a knowledge of map or atlas, then you can easily write this answer. And next question from this geography is, the troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines weather processes. So this is also a very direct question from our basic NCERT. If you see the different layers of atmosphere, we have troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere. So this question which is asking about the troposphere, so you can draw the diagram of atmosphere. For example, it is Earth's surface, we have troposphere, we have stratosphere, we have mesosphere, ionosphere, like that. And you can show what are the processes that are happening in this troposphere, and because of that process, yes, we have some significant impact on our weather process. So like that you can give some examples. And drawing maps is very important, and drawing diagrams is important from your geography point of view. So this is about in detail regarding your geography. And let us see our Indian society related questions. So from Indian society also we have a good number of questions, like 6 questions. And the first question here is, explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relations. So last year in Hindu newspaper there were a number of editorials which appeared regarding this work from home, and it's a very interesting question. So because of this lockdown and because of this work from home concept, so what happened? So most of the time here work which is mainly people are working from their home itself. So because of this, their time they are spending in the house which had been increased. So because of this, what happened, it will be having some positive impact, it will be having some negative impact. So positive impact will be what happen if you're talking about especially women. So they will be having some security now in the home, so they can work from their home, and will be also helpful to decrease the transportation time and even transportation cost, and even it will decrease the carbon emissions like that. And next one here is, here this question which is talking about especially on family relations, that means for example husband and daughters and their family like that. So if you're talking about family relations, so here recently there was one report which said that there is increasing of domestic violence according to this NCRB data, and even there is increasing of this sexual abuse which is seen, it is also NCRB data. So here what happened, because of increasing of this work from home, and most of the time when they started spending in the house, yes, that led to increasing of pressure on the women, because whenever he is working, so what happened, if woman has any other work to do, but she need to do some service work to her husband, like giving the coffee and giving the snacks in between, like lunch, arranging of lunch. So most of the time what are the work she had, so she might not be doing that work because of the other work which she had to do for her husband. And next one here is, there is increasing of domestic violence, there is increasing of sexual abuse. So because of this, yes, there is some impact on the family relationships. Okay, we have both the positives and negatives that you can write. And next one here is, how the growth of tier 2 cities related to the rise of new middle class with an emphasis on culture of consumption. So here this question which is mainly focusing on this tier 2 cities. So you can write an introduction regarding this tier 2 cities, and you can give some examples. For example, Agra, Ajmer, Amravati, etc. And you have to see, like, so because of this tier 2 cities, for example from the rural areas, people they started migrating to this tier 2 cities. So here they have some expectations, like they will be having good health infrastructure, they will be getting good access to education, and even they will be having good access to the work, and that will increase the standard of living, right? And I will be also giving you one idea. So earlier, if you are in the rural areas, or if your family status is not good, okay, if you are not getting the proper enough income or enough work in your rural areas, yes, you will be using, for example, public road transport system. But after entering into this tier 2 cities, and if you are getting good livelihood, good work and good income, yes, you will be moving on to get your own private vehicle, for example like a bikes, etc. So because of this, yes, whenever the people they are moving from these rural areas to these tier 2 cities, and that led to emergence of this new middle class, and that led to increasing of consumption. Like you can talk about the eating patterns also, and you can talk about demand for the goods and services. Okay, so this is the one example that I said. So in this way you can think, and you can give like 3 to 4 examples, and this is enough. And next question is, give the diversities among the tribal communities in India. In which specific context should they be considered as a single category? Yes, in this tribal communities, if you are talking about different tribal groups, for example Nagas are there, and for example Chenchus. Okay, so we have different tribal communities that are present in India, and they have unique characteristics. And here you have to give the what are the diversities, what are the differences that are seen among these tribal communities in India, and in which areas we can consider them as a single category. So what are the problems you are facing, what are the challenges you are facing? So that is about this question. It is also very, very simple question that you can easily answer this. And next question is, analyze the salient of analyze the salience of sect in Indian society vis-a-vis caste, religion and region. So this is a 15 marker question. So this question, if you want to address this question, yes, you need to have a basic idea regarding what is a caste, what is a region, what is a religion, and what are the caste related issues. For example, you can see honor killings are increasing day by day, and you can give some examples, and you can talk about what are the issues that are going on in the religion. For example, recently we are going for this demolition of mosques, and we are going for construction of temples in that areas. For example, Ayodhya dispute case. Okay, like that. So what are the problems that we are facing? Okay, so we have to know about this. and we have to write some examples, that's it. And this one is, are tolerance, assimilation, pluralism the key elements in the making of an Indian form of secularism? Justify your answer. From your Indian society, especially, you can expect question from secularism and from globalization every year. So yes, we got these two questions, that is Indian secularism question and globalization question in this year. So these are the two expected questions every year. So please be prepared with these topics of secularism and globalization. So first one is, are tolerance, assimilation, pluralism are the key elements in making an Indian form of secularism. So in introduction, you can write about what is secularism, and you can talk about the important components of our Indian secularism. Okay, and you can give some examples. Okay, you have to justify your answer, so you have to give your examples. And next one is elucidate, means expand the relationship between globalization and new technology in a world of scarce resources with special reference to India. So actually, you know that I will be saying continuously in our Hindu analysis, like, so each and every country which is not self-sufficient, because we are having the scarce of resources. Yes, because of that we will be depending upon the other countries. For example, if you are talking about technology, yes, we are dependent on the Russia, US, France, etc., and we are getting our defense equipments. And in this era of globalization, every country is interconnected, because no country is self-sufficient with the resources. So in this scarce resources is this globalization which mainly helped from one country with another country. Okay, so in this way you can write some examples regarding so how this globalization and this new technology, it is very much helpful for the development of our country. Okay, so this is 15 marker question, and you can write answer within the 250 words. So this is the analysis of this GS paper 1, and by evening we will be also posting the analysis of GS paper 2. So please try to watch that video also. So GS paper 1, it is entirely static, but based on the current affairs, yes, now I think you understand how question will be framed in our UPSC, even in this GS paper 1, which includes the static syllabus. So current affairs is very important, so please don't neglect this current affairs. And whenever you are reading current affairs, if there is any basic static portion is there, so please try to come back and refer that in your standard books. So in this way, that will help to remember, and even that will be helpful for your long-term memory, and even you can represent well in your examination. So this is the analysis, and in our future videos we are going to come up with detailed discussion of your questions, and we are going to discuss how can you write introduction, body, conclusion, and how can you improve your presentation. So all these, they will be coming up in our future videos. So if you want to stay connected with us, so please subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy, and if you really like this video, press the like button and even press the bell icon so that you will be getting regular notifications whenever we are posting videos. So by this I'm concluding, and before concluding, yes, we posted this paper in our community, so please check, and even in our Telegram channel also we posted this paper. So try to download it and try to keep it with you, so that will be helpful for your future reference also. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much.